I look cute, but I could also kill you with this lollipop.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to Rewatching Lost Girl with Scott and Stacie. I am Scott. This is Stacie. This episode is called Dead Lucky. For me, this is my favorite episode yet so far. Like, I loved this episode. The episode begins with Dyson and Beau in the bedroom. Shocking absolutely nobody.
They're in the police office?
Well, if I opened with they're on the desk as usual, that would just sound a little odd, I think.
I mean, not really for this show. But when she starts off saying, like, oh, in your office or whatever, and then he chuckles the, like, gotta love a statutory holiday, and his little, like, laugh was, like, he sounded, like, Irish for a second. I'm like, where did this come from?
Yeah, I know. That laugh was bizarre. I was like, okay, all right. I was like, I'm not sure if you're excited or a plan you had just came to fruition. I don't know which one was happening. So they're doing all this, and yeah, that statutory holiday bit, they're police officers. I don't think that's a thing.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. True.
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing. They're in there, having their little escapades, and they decided to start setting some ground rules, which probably should have happened 3 episodes ago, but whatever, it's fine. I didn't pay attention to the rules, but there are some. That's what's important.
Some of the ones that I remember off the top of my head is not to tell anyone else about their arrangement. Beau makes an exception for Kenzi because she already knows.
Yeah.
I think the other one is, like, no sad goodbyes. That's pretty much what I remember.
No sad goodbye. Oh my! Yeah. I'm like that last one is so bizarre because it's like no sad goodbyes, girl. You're gonna get stabbed probably 25 minutes from now, and I will see you again then. So the sad goodbye part is just a little strange, I think. Beau exits the building and is almost immediately kidnapped, and then we get our opening credit sequence. We then cut to Kenzi. They're in just some random restaurant. Her and a wacko lady. So she's discussing a possible case with her. The woman says that somebody is trying a person, which is what Kenzi is assuming, is trying to kill her. She feels like her life is threatened by this person, entity, whatever you want to call it. And then she pulls out a picture of a little meow meow. It's a cat.
Murder. I always call cats' paws murder mittens.
Meowder. So turns out it's a demon cat. Obviously it's not. This woman needs to talk to somebody desperately, and it's not Kenzi. Okay then, demon cat, cool.
That would make a cool episode though, to be fair, but I don't think it happened.
Kenzi starts to get frustrated because Beau is supposed to be at this meeting. She's calling her. I believe she's at the 5th phone call, and then she goes, just so you know, you put the suck in succubus. And I'm just like, heh. But this is also because Kenzi is unaware that she has been kidnapped. We flash to where Beau is. She's been taken in by, like, what appears to be some weird amalgamation of, like, an Irish, Italian, European-ish mafia group. I really can't seem to nail it down where they're supposed to come from, except for maybe Mayor, the main person. He kind of seems like he's Italian, but I honestly don't know.
It's just because he's so New Yorker, so I associate that with Italians.
I guess so. Like he could even be like a Boston mafia boss. Like, I really don't know. Like, either way, all I know is that he was a very good actor, that guy. I've seen him in a lot of stuff, though.
His name is Aaron Tager.
Okay, yes. Beau is in this place. She decides she's not happy with where she is and decides to have a little tussle to try to escape. Then, right as she's leaving, the old man that we find out his name is Mayor just touches her on her shoulder, and we see, like, green little sparks come out of his hand. And he says, like, you're out of luck. Sorry, chick, you're out of luck, or something like that. And then she almost in a falls on a banana peel kind of way just goes... and then falls, which I thought was really, really funny, but I'm not sure if they intended for it to be so. So yeah, she falls on her face, and I guess this decides to make her stay. She's intrigued, I suppose, and listens to what Mayor has to say. The man wants to hire her due to being ripped off by a human. And the old man finds this strange, Mayor, finds this strange as as far as he was concerned, he had already drained all the luck from this man. Bo says no. The old man really wants to know how this is pulled off, so he dangles a little cracker in front of her on a treadmill to get her to go along with this plan by saying that he has a niece.
I love her response. She's like, tempting. Is she cute?
And she is. She is cute. She is cute.
Yeah.
So she is pretty skeptical of that. He's told that she could tell her where she comes from. How many characters have said this to her so far? We're just led to believe, like, okay, yeah, sure, bull. Like, no, but Bo doesn't believe you. I don't believe you. We flash back to Kenzi, and the cat lady has walked out because Bo never showed up. But she seemed crazy anyway, so who cares? I honestly think that even if they did the job, they'd have a problem getting paid from her by the end.
Mm-hmm.
She'd be like, the demon cat took the money, sorry. Meow. Then go back to Bo and the old man, and the old man's niece, who I'm not sure, I don't sure if I remember what her name was, but we find out that she is an oracle, which doesn't require that much explanation because I feel like a lot of people know what an oracle is, but we're going to give you an explanation right now.
You know I'm going to give you an explanation. I didn't catch her name either, actually, and now I feel bad that I didn't remember it or write it down, but...
All I know is that she looks like she's straight out of a Harajuku Girl video.
Yes. I mean, a lot of outfits in this episode are very of the time era, like, just little details. It's quite funny.
I love two little balls in the hair, though. I love it when girls...
Oh, no, super cute, super cute.
Two little balls. It's my favorite.
I also love when the like, lollipop that she's always got has this like innocent quality to it, but she's very powerful and wise. I love that like juxtaposition in her character. It's like very sassy, but also you can't not take her seriously.
I look cute, but I could also kill you with this lollipop.
Yeah. So yeah, oracles are not really specific to any one culture or one continent. Almost every ancient culture, especially, their leaders would use oracles to help them in moments of crisis or in decision making. The only things that I think are helpful here is their responses often require some interpretation. Like they won't give you straightforward answers. They're kind of like, telling you a parable and then you have to figure it out on your own.
Which holds true, I think. Yeah.
And the other thing is they typically go into like a trance or an altered state somehow. Usually they'd have to do something, like be in a sweat lodge or take some sort of plant medicine or something like that. But in her case, she just kind of goes into it immediately, which was very impressive.
Yeah, to do all that without any peyote, good for her.
Surely.
Well, the best quote from that oracle was right at the beginning. She's like, so what, you're gonna like tell my future? She's like, I can show you what was, what is, and what will be. The whole shit sandwich.
Love that.
Me too. So she's giving her she's giving her a reading. She does her roll to the back of the eyes thing. And we flash back to Bo. And she's 18. She's in a station wagon that looked exactly like my parents. And it's her first love in this really kind of harrowing flashback that shows the first person that she ever loved and trusted to get close to her in that way. And all of a sudden, during this moment in the backseat of the car, she's overtaken. For the first time, we are led to believe, where it led to the demise of somebody because she got hungry. I'm taking it was the first time it happened just due to the shock and awe on her face of what had just happened, because she didn't know what it meant. She thought, "Am I a monster?" Just like the oracle said, and then she fled the scene and left that and left the dead man there.
The oracle calls her a sinner, a killer, a beast. That's heavy.
It is heavy, and it's gonna get heavier. The type of stuff that Bo's gone through, it's amazing she's as together as she is, to be honest.
Totally.
Because we're led to believe that what the oracle isn't just telling her what she's seeing, the oracle is physically showing her. What the oracle is seeing, Bo is also seeing at the same time. It's like picture in picture, or whatever you want to call it. So after this, she agrees to help Mare, but before she leaves, Mare references this nephew and goes, "You want more shot to the groin for the road?" Like I would love if you just kicked him in the balls. I thought that was amazing, and that actor is he's great.
He is so phenomenal this whole episode. Aaron Tager passed away in 2019. R.I.P.
And he will 100. And I get the feeling we will 100% be seeing him again in this show before it wraps up. That is for sure. So she goes back to Kenzi. Kenzi's still pissed due to the lack of information that she has. Like, where have you been? Kidnapped 2 hours ago. You big bitch. Like, basically. And then Kenzi's just like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. Bo gets some help from Dyson. After Bo leaves the room, Kenzi says she is no longer on Team Dyson and puts a little "I'm stupid" sticker on his chest, which I thought was adorable.
I love the look on his face when he, like, takes the piece of paper and then reads it and then looks at her. Like, he kind of has this reaction like he knows that she's right, and she's so cutthroat about it. Like, I just love that whole interaction. It was so good.
Well, that's one of my favorite parts about her is that out of all the people that we meet in the show, the Morgan, the Ash, Bo, Dyson, Hale, all of those people, I still think Kenzi is the toughest and most capable out of all of them. Despite some of her bad choices, she is a survivor more than any of those people are.
As Meyer will tell her later in the episode.
So, Bo and Kenzi arrive at a very nice house, looking for the man that ripped off Meyer. They're coming in, they're like, ooh, whiskey! Kenzi's all excited, eats a bunch of canapes in a very... She just, like, literally takes 4 at once. And then Bo goes, Kenzi, this isn't a party. And then they see that the man they are looking for is in a coffin, and they are at his funeral. Bo says he looks peaceful, and then Kenzi says, and really, really dead. My favorite thing is with the wife, and she goes, so, and like the nicest, most like funeral voice possible, like I'm so sorry for your loss, but it came out as, so when did he bite it? So it turns out, the man died 24 hours before he walked in to place a bet at Mare's establishment. This causes some confusion, obviously. How did a dead person place a bet? So they go to Trick for advice. Trick informs them that they are known as body jumpers, or a shen. Is a shen a real thing in culture?
Okay, so first of all, when I was trying to look up Shein body jumper, all I'm imagining is like fast fashion one-piece jumpsuits.
Oh, Sheen! Oh, that's funny as hell. Did you think you made a typo? Absolutely, that's what would have happened.
I don't know how to spell Shein other than Shein. Like, it seems like that's how it would be spelled, right?
I had subtitles on when I was watching it, so just because I'm deaf, and it's Hsien.
Okay, I'm great that you got that. By the way, I will bring this up later on in the episode because I'm pretty hard of hearing, and I'm watching this show on Apple TV, and they don't have closed captions, and I struggle to understand what people are saying. So, yes, the way that you spelt it there, Hsien, is like the Western way it's spelt. It's Xian. Again, that's still in like a Latin character set, but
okay.
So they are immortal beings from the Taoist tradition. They have supernatural powers such as shape-shifting. That's the closest one I could get. Apparently they can also fly and do other stuff, but I think shape-shifting was like what they were drawing from with this ability to take on the bodies of deceased people. They're also supposed to be serene, wise, in harmony, or following the way of the Tao. They are humble, benevolent, which it all are attributes that this character has none of. If anything, he's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So shape-shifting is where their similarities end, pretty much.
There's a lot of different... like, usually it's like one creature or mythological type of thing per episode. You get a lot of them in this one. They drop actually quite a few different kinds of them.
Yes.
We find out that they need to go to a morgue. Because Dyson knows a morgue attendant that is a Shien. So they figure, prime suspect, we're going to go ask him. So Dyson and Bo leave, and then leave Hale with Kenzi. And Hale says to Kenzi that she needs to show people she can handle her shit as a human in the Fae world. Which I don't think that she's not showing that. Y'all are just not paying attention. That's the actual problem here.
So yet again, Hale is being super rude. So he uses his siren abilities to basically mess up. She's playing pool and he like throws her off, and that's why she gets upset. She says like, you guys don't play fair. And he's like, oh, well, humans always play fair. They always play by the rules, and the good guy always gets the girl, kind of like, yeah, we live in the same reality that you do, which...
Girl, shut your ass up, basically.
Well, it's like, it kind of added some depth there. But one thing that we missed earlier, like, the other reason why I think Kenzi is one of the strongest characters is because everyone treats her like scum. And earlier, Trick is saying, oh, humans are for eating, not for wearing. Like, it's beneath us when he's talking about the body jumper. And it's like, ouch, Trick. Like, all of the light Fae are really, really rude
Huge
to Kenzi.
dicks. Yeah, all of them.
Which is what makes Meyer's character stand out even more in this episode. At first, he does underestimate her, but he changes his mind. He needs very little to get to know her to like change his mind and see the potential in her.
Exactly, and that's the thing, is that Kenzi knows she's capable, but she also has a lot of doubt. She has no idea what she's actually capable of at this point. I don't think she realizes. So we flash to the morgue, and one of my favorite songs is playing. They have Black Velvet playing as soon as they walk in. I love that song. And yeah, I love it. I love that song so much. So it's a blonde lady dancing in the morgue. Turns out she's possessed by the morgue attendant. Because, like, as soon as you see that context of, like, okay, he's possessed, it makes you immediately wonder, oh god, you're just possessing any body that you think looks attractive and just staring at their naked body in a mirror, aren't you, you gross old man? Aren't you?
A light Fae, he's a good guy.
So he says that, one of my favorite parts about this, that he says, you know those Elvis sightings in the 1970s? This guy. I was like, that's so stupid, but also, I love when they take, things, the amount of shows that put like the Kennedy assassination in there and try to say all these different people, do you know what I mean? There's so many shows that try to say like the time travelers, all this crap, like I did this. I love it when they put in like real world stuff into shows like this. So he said he is not the person who screwed over Mayor, and that a man named, I almost put Jasper, it's not Jasper, it's Jesper. What's wrong with your parents? Why would they do that to you? That seems to be the main person. Then we go over and we see that we're now in this, I don't think it's a bar. I'm not sure. It seems to just be an underground, not to the public establishment where people go to play and gamble and stuff. This is when we see my old friend, the actor Paul Saunders. He is playing a character named Mighty Mario. Kenzi kind of sits down doesn't sit down next to him, gets pulled over, and starts distracting them and saying, like, oh, this person's tails when they're biting their nails. You might want to keep an eye out for that. And all this, while Bo goes and talks to this okay-looking man wearing a nice purple suit. I did like what he was wearing. But you could tell the second you met him that this guy's not... he's not good. And this is who Jesper is. This is Jesper, is this man. After they leave and Kenzi's giving advice to Mighty Mario, Kenzi is so adept at not just in the reference of poker, like she's really adept at knowing when someone is telling her the truth and being able to pick out all those little mannerisms. Even if she's never met a person before, she can just be like, you're lying.
What I noticed immediately is how comfortable she was with these, like, gross men just kind of treating her as an object, as if, like, she's been in an environment like this many times before and she's just used to it, and, like, she's probably used this to make money in the past. Like, even the way she created a diversion and then grabbed a bunch of poker chips, like, she's always like, how can I make this work for me? Whatever situation she finds herself in.
It's very, I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me. Like, they think that they're using her. No. She's using you. So, Bo tries to work her magic on Jesper. His exact words when she tried were, 20 years from now, when you are really able to channel your power, I would not be able to resist you. Not now, though. So Jesper was warned that Bo would be coming. That's what we find out. We're not sure exactly who from yet, but I had a couple of guesses. Jesper attacks Bo. Jesper gets the coolest little, the thumb with the, like, that was amazing. It turns out that Jesper is a frost giant. Another one for this episode. And he takes his shards of nails and literally just right in there, and she just starts to kind of freeze over. Somebody needs a manicure, is, I believe, what she said right before she got stabbed. She never lets up for a minute. You gotta have some sarcasm even when you're about to die. We know that frost giants are particularly from Norse mythology, I believe. Stacie?
You did get that right, yeah. Well, Dyson tells her later.
It's Marvel movies, that's why.
I'm not going to be able to say this word, but it's like a Hrimthirst or something like that. Yeah, frost giants. They're actually threats to the gods, not to humans. They're, like, so strong. And that's why Dyson is saying, like, you had an encounter with one of these, like, you should be dead right now. Which, it seems like more and more when Bo comes up against these Fae and just kind of, like, bounces back pretty quickly, that just shows, like, how strong she is. But I did love that before he stabbed her with his frozen giant thumbnails, that he was also pointing out her weakness. Like, I probably won't be able to resist you in the future, but for now you're not strong enough for me.
Yeah, and when that happened, I almost got shivers, because it's like, she's powerful now, so for him to say that, it's like, ooh. So yeah, he's a frost giant, and then it makes me also think, because we're getting these things from Norse mythology, it makes me wonder if we're down the road gonna meet Loki or Odin. I know for a fact, I'm pretty sure that Thor does not make an appearance ever in this show, but it would be interesting to see some of the others. I think that would be really, really cool. Kenzi makes a fight break out by whispering into my friend Paul Saunders' ear, Mighty Mario, and says, that guy just slipped an ace up his sleeve. Are you supposed to do that? And then just, poof, you get this big blow up. She gets the distraction. And my favorite part when it's happening is the ice glazing over on the glass. And she goes, oh, is that the signal? Yes, that's the signal, Kenzi. Yes, that is the signal.
I don't know if I would have picked that up. I mean, you have no idea who he is. Like, maybe they just opened a window or something and it's hot and heavy in there because of what they're doing. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have figured that out.
Maybe that room's a giant walk-in freezer. How am I supposed to know? Kenzi rushes in there, hits him in the face with a crowbar, which actually did not do much to him. Then he gets pushed into a spear through his chest. And here's the thing. We never come back to him in this episode, but he didn't look like he was dead. He only looked like he was very, very angry, and that this would not be the last we're seeing of this man.
I had that same thought. I don't know if it comes back, actually, but I thought the same thing.
Yeah, like he had it through his chest, and he kind of just looked down, like, again? Like, Kenzi rushes Bo out of there, because she is very close to the brink of death, and rushes Bo to Dyson for some booty. They're in the bar, and we're getting lots of that. And Hale's outside with Kenzi, just being like, "So, seen any good movies lately?" Or
okay, my favorite part of this scene is Trick coming out with a baseball bat, just like, did my troll get out? Every time I see that scene, I laugh so hard. It's so funny.
It's like, no, they're in there having some fun, but pause, troll? And where do you have the room to keep him?
Exactly. I'm like, no, someone's got to look for the troll. Like, what's going on?
Dyson seems way more drained than usual after they come out. I feel like it's the frequency at which this is happening. Perhaps he shouldn't have volunteered for every time. Maybe there should be a second person. But he comes out and Bo looks fine, and Kenzi goes, "Dude, your junk could cure cancer."
Well, it's not really him. It's Bo, right? Like, I think if like she did that with any Fae, and we know from previous episodes, like other Fae that she slept with, gives her that same regenerative qualities. But I love that he also notices after she says that, they're like, "You look a little green," and he says, "I'm a quarter leprechaun." It's like, okay. But everyone's noticing that it's taking it out of him. I mean, even earlier in the episode when he's hanging out with Hale, he's like chugging energy drinks, and Hale's like, "You seem a little tired." All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
Bo. Oh my God, not a scratch. Dude, your junk could cure cancer. Though you look kind of green.
I'm a quarter leprechaun.
Really?
Hello and welcome back to the Rewatching Lost Girl podcast with Scott and Stacie. Where we left off was, "Dude, your junk could cure cancer."
Great place to leave off.
I'm just going to keep saying that every time I like something. Great. Now we've learned that Jesper was tipped off by someone who works for Meyer. I'm going to be doing this all episode. Bo and Dyson go off to deal with that. Hale asks Kenzi if she wants to have another pool game. She ain't no fool. She says no, and that she has her own shit to deal with, and leaves the bar. Uh-oh. Just uh-oh. So Kenzi's at the bar from earlier, spying on the nephew of Mayor, and Kenzi breaks into a car that she saw approach the bar. She just gets, we think she's going to steal the car, but that's not what she's doing. She's just popping the trunk, and as soon as she looks in the trunk, she gets chloroformed and seemingly kidnapped as well. That seems to be a theme for this episode, is kidnapping. We flash to Bo and Dyson at the morgue again. Bo is worried that she may have took too much from Dyson, and this is kind of the first time that we've seen that we've seen him really affected. It must be because it was twice in what appears to be one episode. Could be one day, we don't really know. Eddie, the morgue attendant, comes like tumbling out of the freezer, wherever they keep the bodies to keep them cool. We'll call it a freezer, I guess. And the second he did this, I was just like, oh no. I was like, that ain't him. That is not him. He just seemed weird. The second I was like, oh, Eddie's not Eddie. And then we start to see one of the I loved this shot of how he looked at how it goes pans down to his feet, and you just see blood just pooling out of it. And yes, like, so you're not Eddie, are you? And it's like, Eddie's not here. No, Eddie's not here. And then you flash and you can see that there's a knife in his back. Eddie then attacks and appears to escape as Dyson is forced somehow into the freezer, just in the kerfuffle. He gets put in that freezer and it gets locked. He tells Bo to go after him. She doesn't have to go far. He's still in the same room. Eddie's body is now on the floor, which we now know that means he's switched bodies. Which is then followed by one of the coolest shots again in this show. Like a quadruple body switch, basically. This one body comes out, attacks Bo from behind. Bo kind of does this to him, and then he falls back, touches the body, then that buddy touches the body, and it just keeps skipping all the way to the end until Hulk Hogan gets up, apparently. This man was huge.
I looked him up.
I would have settled on the bodybuilder as well.
He is actually a professional bodybuilder. He's also smoking hot. It's like the first thing I thought, but she's like, bring it, juice monkey, but you can tell she's kind of like intimidated, and I'm just like, drooling.
Basically just gets up and like, I'm about to rock your shit. And honestly, like, when I saw him, I was like, is that Thor? Did Thor just pop up on here? Because, damn.
Yeah.
So, Bo is actually quite quickly losing this fight, actually.
Goes for his junk, and it has absolutely no effect on him.
Speaking of itty bitty. So Dyson shifts. He runs out of patience. He shifts and he breaks out of that out of the freezer, and restrains Hulk Hogan. And Bo says, "What took you so long?" They interrogate him. Hulk Hogan is not talking.
The bodybuilder did speak to them eventually because Bo was threatening to put him in one of the freezer drawers. And whatever he says here, and again, like, no knock on this actor. He's doing a great job. He's very nice to look at.
Yeah.
But I could not understand what he said. He was saying something that it's basically Seymour was like the one who's behind all this. They cut right before his name. But that's why they all, go back to Myers' place. But I could not understand what he said. And I kept trying to, like, go back and re-listen to it again. But without closed captions, I just couldn't figure it out.
Seymour is the one who is responsible. That is the nephew of Meyer. They go outside. They go into the trunk, and they see that Kenzi is in that trunk. Kenzi's very upset that nobody takes her seriously. And it partially is the fact that she is a survivor and she is really tough is all well and good, but she does put herself in situations that make it harder to do what Bo is trying to accomplish. She's not trying to get in the way. She is always trying to help, but this was the case where she did more harm than to herself than good.
Right, she's putting herself in harm's way all the time.
Yeah, and it's all the way back to the first episode that she does that. She can't not try and help. It's a character flaw, but I suppose it's a nice character flaw to have. Kenzi and Dyson have a cute little conversation. I really enjoyed this conversation that they had, and she kind of like boops Dyson on the nose and like walks away, and says, "So are you back on Team Dyson?" And she goes, "No, I'm not." And she goes, "Come on, we're gonna make T-shirts."
I feel like that was there will be two teams in this show, but we haven't really gotten to that part yet. They kind of like jumped the gun a little bit, but
they did kind of jump the gun on the Team Dyson. This must have come out in and around the time of Twilight or something like that, with like the Team Jacob, Team Edward thing. Like I'm sure those line up in some way, but they did jump the gun just because Lauren's basically been MIA.
Right.
Like she's are very lightly used at all in the past couple episodes.
Because Kenzi is also seeing the vulnerability in Dyson. Again, like, even in the poker game, she's very observant of what's going on, and she can tell when someone is saying something, but their inner world is like something else is going on, and she can like read everyone like an open book. And even though Dyson likes to put on a poker face, if you will, like pretend that he's like all tough and bad and isn't affected by it, she can see right through it.
So Mare tells Bo that she can get her reading if and this is where Kenzi steps up and says, no, not just that. If you want us to keep your secret, that's a whole new other thing. You're gonna have to pay us for that too. And I loved that she did that, because the look on his face was just like, all right, what do you want? It was just like, okay, all right, I see you now, human.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's like always the negotiator, and he is fair.
He is fair. Bo says that she'll take the debt, basically, and that he will owe her a favor sometime in the future. Mm-hmm. Hence how we know that he'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
she also says that, like, for a Dark Fae, he isn't too bad. And then he's like, well, then why don't you join us? And she says that she's not going to pick a side until she finds out about her parents.
Yeah, his character is, like, so revealed at this point, because, like, he says, you know, you're used to dealing with the light, but my side doesn't believe in mercy. Even though his nephew stabbed him in the back, he's like, he's family, I have to get him to someplace safe. And is trying to protect him.
Which honestly was sweet.
Yeah, and he's only been extremely respectful to Bo from the very beginning. Like, he really admires her, or, like, has a high reverence for her.
It's like, other than the kidnapping, I think we've had a really good rapport. Yeah.
And then he tells Kenzi, you know, he uses that same little magic trick. It's whatever his power is. They don't say what he is in this episode, but hopefully it'll come back around.
I'm gonna go with have we met a leprechaun yet?
No.
Have we met a leprechaun yet in this show?
That's what your bet is?
It could be that.
Okay. So he detects that Kenzi has, like, luck on her, and she's like, you know, I wouldn't call it luck. But he's like, you are a survivor, clearly. And he, like, is offering her a job. And remember, like, earlier in this episode, Trick and Hale, both of whom should have, like, a closer relationship with her right now, said, like, you know, humans are for eating, you need to prove yourself. Like, yet again, the light has showed over and over again how much they don't care about humans, and just how I don't know if demeaning is the right word, but condescending they are, like, even to other Fae.
It is, though. It's like they hold themselves up on a pedestal, whereas the Dark don't do that. They know what they are, and they're real. They don't make any false machinations as to what they're up to. Whereas the Light, they appear to be doing good things, but it seems like they're not doing good things behind closed doors. There needs to be an HR at Mayor's restaurant or whatever it is that he works, because step number one when trying to hire someone, don't touch them and then taste their sweat or whatever it is that you just did. You're just like, you taste good. I would like to hire you. Yeah, okay. Like, just no. It warmed my heart, though, when he, despite the icky way that he does it, it was just that, like, you taste like a survivor. And when I heard that, for some reason, it just warmed my heart.
Totally.
We changed that scene, and now we're with Bo getting her oracle reading. This was the most intriguing part of it. This was so cool. So she gets a reading. We see a woman in a cell looking very medieval. It looks like, so we can take it that this took place a long, long time ago. And then we see that same woman running through the woods as the oracle says that she was betrayed by the one she loves. She escaped after years, searching and yearning for the child that is hers. The oracle says she will be coming. There will be a battle. You will have to choose. She's coming, she's coming, she's coming, she's coming. And then the oracle comes out of it and vomits and makes Bo promise not to tell anybody that she ever saw her do that. And then says, you're a major player. Fate has some serious plans for you. My only note after I wrote that was, well, shit.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, what else do you say?
Yeah. Then Kenzi comes in, and she says the words that just ran up my back and just gave me goosebumps. She goes, Kenzi, she's alive. My mother is alive. And then the credits roll. And I've seen this show before, and I was still like, oh my god. Like, this episode was, I've been waiting for more lore building. This is what I've been waiting for, is for them to continue. I like the case of the week type thing sometimes, but, like, sometimes it can be like CSI, but we're Fae. Like, you know what I mean? Because we're, like, trying to solve a crime every week. But, like, this is what I live for when watching TV shows, is this sort of continued storyline that, like, really snaps me into it.
I love that in this episode we saw so much about Bo's past, like her first kind of succubus moment that was like her origin story almost. We see a lot about her present, which is she needs to feed, but she's going to drain the people that she's feeding on, which is going to be a problem. And now we're seeing this glimpse into, like, what is yet to come. And everything that the Oracle said about Beau's mother is, you will later find out, is like 100% accurate. So if you haven't written it down, write it down, because like it's very prophetic for what is to come, for sure. And I also love at the very end of the episode, there's like this little clip. So like you mentioned before, it's like the Oracle is almost like projecting what she's seeing into Beau's mind, so Beau is seeing it as well. At the very, very end, it's like the whole screen is black and you just see Beau almost like drawing a dagger backwards, like she's gonna stab someone or something. It's like the way that they edited that was
that
very
vision
unique.
Was amazing. That was so cool. I remember the first season and the final season of this show the most. I feel like that's just kind of natural when you're watching TV shows, just you know, because it's like the first impression and the last. I don't recall if that exact shot is ever used again, but we'll see. I'll be interested to see if that exact particular shot pops up again. This is what finally like snapped me into the show, where it was like, okay, I cannot wait to see what happens next after this. We know a little bit about her mother. We know that she was a victim. I need to know more about her father. My memory is sketchy on it, but I just know that her father is someone very important and very terrifying. I know that much.
Well, don't hold your breath, because you're going to be waiting like 6 years until you find out. Her mom we learn about much earlier. So, yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. All right. So I believe that actually brings us to the end of this episode of Season 1, Episode 5 of Rewatching Lost Girl with Scott and Stacie. Episode titled Dead Lucky. We'd like to thank you guys for watching, and we hope that you'll tune in for our next episode, which I don't know what it's called right now, but I'll tell you what it is next episode.
Cannot wait, especially after this cliffhanger that we were left on in this episode. So we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.